Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome to Expeditions, a MudRunner game. For those unfamiliar with the series, MudRunner, Spin Tires. Wait, is Spin Tires related? I think it is. But definitely SnowRunner has been the most recent release in the series. SnowRunner is one that I brought to the channel for a good while, but I was learning it because it was the first one of the series that I had picked up. I was pretty bad at the game initially, and that was the time where it was on the channel. It didn't do as well. And actually, speaking of doing well, here's the thing: the key was given out to some really large channels. Most of those channels, barring maybe two, are going to do two, three, four, maybe five, 10 episodes at most, and they're going to be done with it. I have a much smaller channel, but I have every intention of this being a long Let's Play because SnowRunner was something I sat aside for a little bit and then I came back to on my own off channel, and this was my go to personal game for quite some time. And I got much better at it, for one thing. And I got about three-quarters of the way through the game, but life happened, got busy, moved on, moved back to my old favorites. That was that. But Expeditions MudRunner game, this is very much the same style for SnowRunner. There's a few changes, and we'll get into those pretty quickly here. This time around, I'm definitely intent on this being a long Let's Play series. And that's what's going to help set this apart from a lot of those much larger channels out there. I tend to do niche games because for a small channel, it's a good way to grow the channel, is you're not competing with massive channels that are going to sweep up all that audience. Well, for this one, I am going to have to compete with those larger channels. So if you're new here, please take a moment, or if you aren't new here, please take a moment, help me out a little bit, because for this to succeed as a long Let's Play, I do need a little bit of an audience, and to get help with that, to get it out there, I need that algorithm boost. That's going to require just a few seconds of your time. Drop below, click that like button, and leave a comment to help with that algorithm. It goes a very long way for a small channel. It's really noticeable when there's even just a minute algorithm kick. That little boost just takes it 1,000 times further than it does without it. So please help out with that. But let's go ahead and play some Expeditions. Now we have two primary regions within this game so far on release. Arizona and the Carpathians both are going to have a similar number of goals to complete. This one plays a little bit different than SnowRunner, where it's not about transporting large goods. This one is going to be more about smaller, like scout vehicle type ventures in difficult terrain. There's definitely some new features regarding managing your vehicle in the terrain that you're going to encounter. That does not mean, though, that we're not still going to be moving goods, just in a smaller fashion than we do in SnowRunner or some of the previous versions. Little Colorado is a bit of an introductory tutorial land. I've already gone through the first tutorial mission where it pops up with hint after hint after hint to set you up and start to get that feel for the controls. That being said, we're going to pick up the first of the 5 tutorial expeditions that actually occur within Little Colorado as this training zone. There is also the capability of mods regions. Mods are kicking off real fast as the game has just launched. There's already quite a few mods up on there. I have none at this point. We will play vanilla at least in the short term. Now, of course, if you're familiar with the series, there's going to be plenty of DLC content coming, and I've already got that package in place with the Supreme Edition, where I will be getting the initial expansions, so there will be more maps coming in time. Very quickly, we'll be getting into Arizona, but let's see Little Colorado first. For our first expedition, we require a jack screw to take with us. We also need to have a sideboard device. We're going to have to go pick up an item and then deploy it. Let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for that one. We currently have a balance of 33K. We are going to get a prepayment of 1,500. We're going to have to spend that on the jack screw. That's how much the jack screw costs. But then we'll also receive 2,000 for completing this first expedition that we head out on. We can deploy up to 4 trucks out of the garage. We also have a team composition, some unique abilities. We'll see what that is in time. For now, we're only going to take one truck. It's going to be a pretty easy mission to begin with. Like I said, this is the tutorial area. It's going to be a lot easier than what we see later on. So enter our garage and our first truck selection, TUS 16. For this one, we need to grab that jack screw. So we're going to go ahead and pick up a jack screw. There's that 1500. That's where you get that pre. So it'll offset the prepayment with the jack expense. All right, so we are deployed. First off, graphics are stunning. They are so beautiful here. Face cam, it's only covering up just the top line here. Right bumper, and of course it'll expand as you pull up, but that very top line that it's covering is just the ignition. Diff lock, all-wheel drive on the sidebars there, and our parking brake, which is on. And with the gas, with the engine running, we are burning a little bit of fuel. One new feature that they have this year, you can do repairs direct in the field, add spare fuel and whatnot, but then there's also going to be devices that we have use up. We'll get into those in time, just giving you kind of a heads up on that. And then we have our inventory where, see, we have 6 slots, but we have our jack screws with us. But we could also impact tire pressure, which will add grip in the right places, but also burn more fuel. But you can change that in time. Really like that addition here. But let's go ahead and get that parking brake off and head out. See, that's our jack screw on board now, and you see the terrain is a lot more dynamic and kind of rough in general. Alright, so our first assignment here is to get to the pond, and you can see just this little outcrop of rock there would catch us out pretty good, so we've got to be careful on how we approach things. And this is not going to be the easiest approach right through here. If we handle it carefully, we should be good. Yeah, just a little bump to get up there. And here we are at our next target. Alright, here's our introduction to the new Echo Sounder. And using that Echo Sounder, you can see we get a lay of the depth. It only gets you so far, so we probably want to use that Echo Sounder again. Oh, that's the inflation system. There we go. Echo Sounder. There it is. Gotta get used to these buttons. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Nothing too dangerous in depth. You can see off to my left it was orange, where it's giving me little notifications about dangerous water level. It's generally okay. We have not been to this side yet, so let's go ahead and use that Echo Center again, and we'll be okay. Light damage to the wheels as we went through there. Okay, and we've made it to our first location. We need to pick up an item here, and that's what those sideboards were for. It's a radio station. It's a satellite. So we'll transfer that to our sideboards. And now we need to find a suitable location to launch a drone. Get up here to the left. We are going to have to get over that tree. Fine. Alright, and next feature is the drone. We're going to go ahead and use that device here. And we are now flying above. You can see we should be just below. Yeah, there we are. Let's see, how do we go up? There we go, up and down with the triggers. I am playing with a gamepad. Now this drone has a limited range. And I can see our path there. Go ahead and exit the drone, back into the vehicle. No parking brake right now, and this is not going to be the easiest climb. This is where you could definitely screw things up. It's easy to get off balance and tip. Oh, we're fine. I think we can go a little bit more to the right to avoid. Yes. it's time to pull out the famous winch. Alright, so winch attached to a loose tree there, and we want to pull and drive. Don't tip me. Don't tip me over. Don't tip me over. There we go. Release. Get forward a little bit anyway. Get that hard right in. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. And we've made it to the top. Deliver supplies. And there's that satellite deployed to our right. Proceed forward just a little bit. Stage complete. Binoculars. Another device. They want us to open the mini-map first. The marked area on the map and then scout it. That marked area. And that would be over there. So device. Last one there. Let's see how it's introducing each of these. And there's the zoom. Got an airdrop over there. Using a drone, you can also discover unexplored parts of the map. Explore the area. 84% open space there that we have not seen yet. Let's go ahead and second use of drone to explore. Something below down here. Discovered a new airdrop. Ooh, bad signal, bad signal. Let's go back. And now we get, this time, a free recovery. Now, in past MudRunner, or specifically in SnowRunner with my experience, recovery was a free thing. So if you failed on a mission, you tip over, you could just recover back to the garage. It just means you had to kind of go again, except for in the harder modes. This one, in the regular mode, recovery is not free. So being really careful with that, but there are ways to get yourself kind of upright again beyond just getting a second vehicle to your location. So on this occasion, that truck recovery is going to be free, but that brings us back to the base. And now they want us to go park just in front of our present location. So do that there. And that's our first expedition complete. We get that 2,000 payment. We also had that offsetting jack payment. We also took less than 200 damage. In fact, I took 2 tire damage, and that was it for that entire round. So we get a bonus 500 on top of that. And it looks like we just unlocked the Dawn 71 as well. I like that for the expeditions, you're also getting some session statistics, how much ground you covered, how much time it took, how much fuel you used, how much total damage was taken, and then of course the items that were used and the finances involved. Now folks, that's all it takes to open up the larger game. Like I said, there was one tutorial mission. It took me 4 minutes prior. And then that first expedition in Little Colorado will now open up the 37 current expeditions in Arizona and the Carpathian Mountains. So within that, you're set up. You're into the game. You can start going wherever, doing whatever, and with a healthy balance to open the game and a number of trucks. So it definitely opens you up more freely than prior editions of the game where you really start bare bones and you've got to build from nothing. They give you a fair bit to work off of. We still have 4 more expeditions here in Little Colorado. Let's see if we can get into a second one, which I'm assuming is going to be a little bit more intensive. All right, so next up is nearby areas not far from the training base. We left valuable cargo. Use a metal detector to search for objects. So we're going to pull out the metal detector for this one. Prepayment is 500. Let's hope that offsets the metal detector cost, and then we'll get a payment of 2,200. Here in the vehicle selection, just briefly, we have a number of Scouts off-road vehicles, etc. Our power is a B minus, the strength is a B minus, and fuel consumption is super with this Dawn 71. This is the SE one, came with that Supreme Edition, but the Dawn 71 standard is here as well. The metal detector is only going to take up one slot. We have 3 slots inventory-wise on this Dawn 71 SE. You can see the recovery cost there at the bottom is 1,000. So that's where you're getting into, hey, it's a real thing. Recovery is going to cost you if you screw up. But let's go ahead and get into that Dawn 71, and it looks like we're going to need to add. So it was not an inventory thing, but it's going to be a roof. There it is. It's a roof attachment, so this metal detector, in this case, is free. And as we're looking at an easy mission here, for now, I'm opting to save the money. We don't need to invest that money into vehicle upgrades in this training area. For now, I'm opting for collecting money and expanding our funds before we go into tougher challenges. Okay, little metal detector tutorial. If the indicators on the metal detector turn white, it means that there are objects to search within a radius of 200 meters. A metal detector gives you information about the location and range of objects. Red means resources, blue means items, green means upgrades, and white means we're close. But to our right, I'm assuming that means it's far away and more behind us. So we're not looking to do those modules right now. We're looking to find these locations. There's a lot more going on behind us. So looks like we'll start by going that direction. As it's getting dark, big question is, how do we turn the lights on? I don't know how to do it from the gamepad, but it's L on the keyboard. And we knew it was this general direction behind, so we'll head back here. It was supposed to be fairly close, so we're not going to travel too far, and then we pull out the metal detector again. Are we detecting the building? Is that what that big one is that's close? I think we've got a small enough rise here over these rocks to travel directly over. And yes, fine. Oh, maybe not. Well, there's a blue marker right over there. I'm wondering if that's that first location. Let's get there and find out. We'll see if that's a spot. We've got a few rocks to get over here. Now that I'm getting to it, I can see there's a bit of a rise we don't want to mess with too much. Problem with this scout vehicle is it gets high centered really easy, I'm noticing. Not much clearance. Yeah, we're checking out this location in the blue up here. It looked like our metal detector was pointed right at it, so I'm guessing that it's one of our locations. We'll find out what it is. It looks like there's an airdrop there at the very least, so could be a reward involved for getting to it. Yeah, that was one of them. Okay, and let's get this airdrop. Okay, we just picked up an anchor. Oh, okay, so it's given us areas to go find. And we were awfully close to that one. That was, we were at the base of it, but we were definitely not up into it. I'd say we were located right here within these trees there a few minutes ago. But I was seeing the rock formation ahead of us going, well, hold on. But it looks like you can cut through there and into that little valley, and hopefully what we're looking for is within that valley and not up on top of the rock formation. Seems going forward is going to be an easier option on turning around than going backward. Just careful with the cliff edge. And as we're approaching that cut, sure enough, here's what we were looking for straight ahead. So yes, it is located in between this small canyon here. Whoa, that's close. Upgrade location discovered. Okay. Get upgrade. Upgrade obtain high range. So like previous games, finding specific hidden locations on the map give you future or present upgrades to other vehicles. It's not available for the current truck, but this gives us high range gearbox, and it's for the Tuz 16, which is what we used last time out. Alright, well, now we've got to get out of here. So the first trick's going to be to turn around. There is a tree right there, but I don't know where else there's going to be something to winch onto. There we go. Okay. But how the heck are we supposed to get up? Nearly tipped. That was a close call, but getting up there with this thing is going to be tricky. And at this angle, it's not looking good. Oh, it's working though. It's working. And we're out. Okay. That was that was a close call. Alright, presumably that was the hard one. That was a difficult one, and we managed to get that upgrade and get out of there in one piece. Just barely. That's certainly helpful to our cause. And that last location. Around the backside, it looks like. So let's follow the trail. Still trying to get around to it, but it looks like this was not the trail we needed. Let's go ahead and use that metal detector. Figure out what direction it is specifically close by here. Looks like it's behind me. I see a blue circle up the hill just behind the tree there. Looks like that's where we're headed. A little bit muddy here. Nearby areas 2,200 plus 1,000 for recovering the truck less than 2 times. We actually technically did 1 truck recovery because we launched at the wrong point, so that worked out. But 0 damage taken, 5 gallons of fuel used, 20 minutes to complete that one. 8,200. Love it. But let's not go back to headquarters. Let's get this. The gas station. Okay. Suppose we'll take it. And we don't have a spare tank, so we'll have to leave the rest of that behind. With that, we have completed 2 expeditions at Little Colorado. We have 3 left to go before we complete that area entirely, and we might as well get that knocked out of the way. In the meantime, 40,000 already, so money counting up pretty quickly. We found a few bonuses while we were at it, and then of course we'll be moving on to Arizona soon enough, staying in the US for the time being. But that is going to do it for this initial episode of Expeditions. I'm excited for this series, and I'm looking forward to much more. Please, if you didn't do so at the beginning of the episode, help out with that algorithm a little bit. It's really important in the first 3 episodes, so drop that like, leave that comment, and I'll see you next time. We'll be back for much more of this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.